Warning, you are not watching Siskel and Ebert.
You are now entering Wang World.
Since I'll go back with another video, I'm Strange Wang. Today I have a film review for the movie Hypnotic. If you want to call this thing a movie, before we get into it, please hit that thanks button underneath this video and donate some of that cheese, that cheddar, that mozzarella, that Bob De Niro, because donating money to this channel, it helps improve the channel, get better lighting, sound, and all that quality. It just helps. But if you don't, you can always subscribe. It is free. And if you do either of those things, then
I appreciate that.
But let's get down to brass tacks. I gave Hypnotic a 3.5 out of 10 Wangs.
Why?
Because this movie sucks, dude. I could just do a montage of clips of saying how bad this movie is. But instead, I'm going to tell you why. And everything about this movie is why. You have a phoned-in performance from Ben Affleck, who was probably paid most of the budget to be in this movie, so it would even be made. You have bad performances from the rest of the cast because they're just not that good actors. Because this movie feels like should have been on a NBC, CBS TV series to come on right after an NCIS TV show or some kind of cop show. And they cast those actors in this movie. And it just feels so generic. It feels unbelievable in these performances. Like, I don't really believe these people are who they say they are. And then it gets weird and you're like, I'm really not buying the acting in this movie. And I can't invest in these characters. So I can't invest in the story. It also doesn't help their writing is
hot garbage. Still trash.
The writing in this movie is so convoluted because it takes from so many other movies that it's just a big garbage trash fire of good movies. Movies like X-Men. Movies beats from Memento, The Matrix. All in this film where when you go from one scene that feels like a movie to another scene that feels like a movie to another scene that feels like a totally different movie, you're going to be thinking about, man, this reminds me of this movie and not the story. The story's not really that much worth to be paying attention to anyways, but it gives you a very hard time focusing because you're immediately reminding of much better movies than the movie you are watching.
What else?
Robert Rodriguez's directing also feels very dated. It feels very 2000s. It's his style. I get it, but dude hasn't made a good movie in how long? I honestly didn't even know he still made movies. And he's made some great movies in the past. I'm not completely shitting on the man as a director, but your last movie that was good that I remember seeing was either The First Machete or his part in Grindhouse. And that was 07, 08, I believe, when those movies came out. So you have a decade of not making any movies, or 2 decades of not making any good movies, and you just have a convoluted mess of a film with poor acting and outdated directing. And this movie, because of the directing, it feels like it should have been made in the 2000s, the early 2000s, and it wouldn't even been a good movie in the early 2000s.
Damn!
The best thing I can say about this movie was the music, and even that, it fit the scenes, it fit what they wanted to tell, the story they was trying to tell, but it still wasn't great. It was fine, and fine's the nicest word I can say to describe any part of this movie. The CGI is bad, the lighting is weird. I mean, it's consistent, but in some scenes it's like, I don't really understand, like, why this is being lit this way. To be edgy and cool, like Rodriguez's style, I guess. But sound quality isn't the worst. So, like, from a technical standpoint, the technical side of filmmaking with the audio and things like that, is the reason why this movie even has a 3.5. But don't watch this movie. I shouldn't have watched this movie. There's this very pretty mixed girl with pink hair, and she went to go see the Blackberry movie by herself, and I probably should have went and go see the Blackberry movie, because I could be like, oh my goodness, spill my popcorn, and be like, you're in my seat. Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's not my seat. Strike a conversation up with her and try to get her number. Even if she would have rejected me, at least I would have saw a good movie, and that would have been a much better experience than the experience I had with Hypnotic, because Hypnotic is
So fucking terrible.
Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Hypnotic. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? I hope you didn't like it, because you're probably thinking this dude's a lunatic, because Hypnotic is great. But we all have opinions, and my opinion is this is definitely going to be one of the worst movies on my top 10 worst movies of the year list at the end of the year. But as I said, leave your comments, scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.